Great morning, great morning. How's everybody doing? Great morning, great afternoon, and great evening wherever you are in the world. I'm your host, Ollien Robinson, and I am a grindaholic. Coming to you live and direct from the grindaholic cave, I should say. But how's everybody doing? So, we had a lot of rallies yesterday in the market. Bit things popping. And I'm just trying to see what developments are going on this morning. So let's get right into it. Dum, 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 dum. So I guess we can start with the crypto market. So we had a major move with Cardano. If y'all haven't peeped it out, Cardano went up 21%. And it's something y'all should watch out for or look out for. Maybe you want to invest, a couple of $100, $200, $300. I remember 2017, it was a hot topic. And if you would have invested back then, you would be a millionaire by now. You could have took a $2,000 investment and parlayed that thing. Let's see what else we have. It's another one I've been looking at. BTT, BitTorrent. I know a lot of people should be familiar with that one. BitTorrent was one of the major players when downloading pirated software and things of that nature. So let's take a quick look at that. Uh-oh, what's going on? What is going on? Alright, let's see. Are we back on? What is going on? Don't like this. Okay, we back. Alright, here we go. Yes, here we go. BitTorrent has been making some moves. It was at 0.00035, shot up. So if this moves and it's possible. And depending on how much, and again, I am not a financial advisor. Please make your own choices and decisions when dealing with the crypto market, when dealing with the financial institutions and stocks and options and futures and bonds. Make sure you do your due diligence when dealing with the market, when whatever you choose. But yeah, BitTorrent, a lot of pirated what was it, like music and different things of that nature. A lot of people utilize that for, but you know, they kind of cracked down on it. But it's still a major player, and it's out of I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Silicon Valley. But I would keep an eye on this one. This could move, and you could be sitting on millions within the next 2 years if you play your cards right. And I'll go more in detail at a later time. But yeah, keep an eye out on this one. What else? Most of your exchanges like Binance, crypto.com, Uniswap, a lot of these are really moving. The Avcoin as well. But look into these. Man, crypto is just unique in itself. Let's see. Bitcoin moved about 84%. Set 51,542. Of course, Ethereum. I mean, man, we should have bought the dip. It was at 13 for a hot second. And made a push back up, or 14. Either way, when it was bloody, everybody should have been stacking their coins. What else we got? Yahoo Finance. Ooh. Bloody. Oh my goodness. Everything was down. We had a nice little surge, but then it went down. Let's check out ARK. See what's popping in ARK. Let's see what conversations looking like. Everyone's panicking over rising bond yields last week. It seems nobody cares today. Glad I bought on Friday when other people were selling. ARK is a long-term investment that you want to be in. Also, if you haven't looked at what's my boy Mark Monroe and Ollien, the Come Up series, check them out. They are great. They are great teachers of options trading. Also subscribe to them on their Facebook channels. A lot of information that you want to be in the know, learning the rolling fours. Let's see what we got. And again, these are some of the things that we are researching and we're taking a part of. So and again, What else we have on the watch list? Man, it's just been bloody. Google, Amazon, the big dogs. Rocket. They've been doing pretty well. Y'all not familiar with Rocket? I think this is the mortgage. I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they've been going hard. Let's see what the chart is saying. This thing has shot up. Could have got in around about the 20, hell, even the 18 back in November. Yeah, try to get you 100 shares of this. You'll be all to the good with that one. Yeah, it says rocket surges 71% as the shorts are crashing and burning. Short sellers beware. Redditors appear to be targeting rocket companies. Shares of the online mortgage provider were halted for volatility on Tuesday. There they go with that bull. Yeah, check out Wall Street Bets on Reddit. I think some insiders are hedging against people who trying to short sell. So I guess that's the latest. Man, that thing shot up from 30 something to yeah, about 30. Let's see what's the low. It's at 24. Yeah. Seems like while the stock market is down, the crypto market is up. Let's see what we got going on. Let's send the latest news. White House says U.S. will have enough vaccines for every adult by the end of May. I take my stance with Public Enemy. Can't trust it. Man, I'm not a doctor or a physician, so I can't tell you anything other than what I'm doing for myself and my family. Also Kathy Woods, she will be on the Come Up series, I believe on the 11th. So check her out. She's a major player in the stock market game. And again, it's a she. So big up to women. But yeah, check out Kathy Woods. Kathy Woods, they just said she bought 95 million worth of Zoom video as stock dropped on Tuesday. Yesterday I had TED Talk, TED Talks yesterday. I should have brought this up. Let's go into this. Evelyn Chang. CNBC spoke to Chinese consumers who bought local electric cars like NIO instead of Tesla. Find out what drove their purchase decision, price, and driving range. Here are some anecdotes on why Chinese consumers bought electric cars from Tesla competitors NIO, Li Auto, and Xpeng. Local government policy support for license plates and charger infrastructure is another factor. All right, Beijing. Chinese consumers thinking about whether to buy Tesla electric cars or local alternatives have two things at the top of their minds: price and driving range. That's according to anecdotes gathered by CNBC. Conversations from around the country that do not represent qualitative research, but the comments shed light on what some consumers care about in China, the world's largest automaker. Let me skim through this right quick. Price competitiveness was a major consideration. Part of NIO's strategy is selling many car features via subscription model. For example, the company launched a battery as a service plan last year that charges customers a monthly fee for battery power, similar to a regular fuel charge for a traditional gas-powered car. Is this a video?
Our cloud solutions are intentionally designed for a positive impact on your business and the world. Learn how you can meet your sustainability goals.
NIO may not be a recognizable name in the US, but it's becoming a leading player in China's electric vehicle market.
We can really think of NIO as sort of the original Tesla of China.
They want to target the same market as BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Porsche, and they're essentially the only local OEM from China that's been able to do that.
But the company has had its fair share of problems along the way. NIO has racked up over $6 billion in costs since starting in 2014.
It's been kind of a rocky few years. If you look back 2018, you saw tremendous growth, and then you ran into the worst downturn in our lifetimes for the China automotive market.
It was burning, $500 million a quarter when the stock dropped to $1. I mean, it indicates that it's dying, it's gonna go away.
Just a year ago, the company was on the brink of collapse, but it managed to turn that around and become the world's fourth most valuable automaker.
NIO is in serious financial trouble. In fact, they needed a bailout from the Chinese government just to survive the first quarter of 2020. And here we are today, NIO valued in New York on par with Daimler.
Despite setbacks due to the coronavirus pandemic, the company has continued to grow. In the third quarter of 2020, it reached $628 million in sales and delivered up to 12,206 vehicles.
If we think of 2020 in stages, the first third was a disaster for China. Sales at one point decreased by 90% in 1 month. But as the year has gone on, more or less, life has returned to normal. So they had their best month in November.
However, the company still has a long way to go before it can dominate the Chinese auto market.
You see a market that's still emerging, still dominated by combustion engine, but EV is increasingly growing very quickly, especially in the second half of 2020.
The hot names like NIO, XPeng, they're just like a very small fraction of even just the battery electric vehicle market. NIO is about 7%, XPeng is about 4%. They're just starting up.
This seems like there's no turning back at this point with Tesla's valuation just so sky high. It's the technological trend. We're going electric.
The company was founded by William Li in 2014 as Next EV.
William Li made his first billion in the internet business and then was inspired by Tesla. In 2014, he went to the Paris Auto Show, met an executive from Ford Motor Company, Martin Leach. They connected immediately and they had a shared vision. Let's build the Tesla for China from scratch.
This was a tech-backed venture, and it had all the big names behind it. Sequoia, Hill House, Tencent itself took a huge stake, still has a huge stake.
2 years later, it announced its first vehicle, a limited-run supercar called the EP9, as well as the introduction of the NIO brand.
They put together this phenomenal vehicle, handfuls of them only, but just to establish the brand and the reputation.
Like Tesla, NIO has distanced itself from the traditional automakers, associating more as a tech company.
They make no secret of the fact that they're a tech company first, and they're highly inspired by Tesla.
The cars have some high-tech touches, such as an integrated smart assistant.
They have this cute little thing called Know Me. It's an AI assistant, and you can give it commands to do virtually everything you want. Put the window up, put the window down, temperature, music changes. Let's take a selfie.
NIO has emphasized that it's a lifestyle brand. Owners get access to a social network and private social spaces called NIO Houses.
These gorgeous places called NIO Houses where owners gather to go to the library, have their kids play, drink coffee, hang out. It's just a house, a community. So that's one big way in which they've driven tremendous levels of loyalty.
And it's similar, I think, to what Tesla has done here, to what Porsche has done. For decades, you have people kind of associating the brand with more than just a vehicle, but a certain lifestyle.
NIO currently sells 3 vehicles in China: the ES8, a full-size SUV, the ES6, a mid-size SUV, and the EC6, a crossover coupe.
Not only is China the largest market for premium vehicles, it's also the largest market by far in the world for SUVs. The Chinese love their SUVs.
Similar to the rest of the world, the SUV vehicle segment in general, and especially the premium end, has been growing very quickly. It's probably the most profitable.
In the Chinese market, there are lots of affordable EVs, but NIO and Tesla are on the higher end.
The pricing is premium, so it's the most expensive battery car in the market in China now.
NIO is targeting premium customers who like technology, and they saw what happened here with Tesla in the United States, that Tesla stole sales from BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. NIO is beginning to do the very same thing in its home market.
They really pride themselves on white glove service. For repairs, someone will literally come pick up your car. If you need to get charged, they have mobile charging trucks that will come and charge it, or someone will come pick it up. You just don't get that from any other Chinese automaker.
One unique approach the company is taking is battery swapping. In 2018, it opened its first battery swap station in Shenzhen and has built 162 locations so far.
Within less than 10 minutes, you can swap out to a new battery and be on your way. Now, other people have tried that before. Tesla looked at it years ago and dropped it, but NIO seems to be convinced that this is the way to go and that they're staying with it.
But some are skeptical that battery swapping is the future of charging.
It's not really a super long-term solution. I would say it's a short, medium bridge until we can get batteries that can charge ultra fast.
More recently, NIO is now letting customers buy its cars without batteries, instead letting them lease the pack, paying a monthly fee.
They introduced a new battery as a service platform, which they claim makes their vehicles just as cost efficient to operate and use as an equivalent vehicle from, say, BMW.
There are people interested in this battery as a service, but majority of people still prefer the traditional ownership.
In 2018, NIO went public on the New York Stock Exchange, raising $1 billion and valuing the company at $6.41 billion.
You sort of had this euphoric lead up to the IPO, and then you had disaster strike in 2019 with a perfect storm of events, both industry and company specific.
The entire auto industry was going through a slump in the last 18 months leading up to this summer.
Not only did the market decline, but profits also fell. In addition to that, the Chinese government started making noises about, hey, subsidies are not forever. We're going to make those go away too.
Faced with continued losses and insufficient revenue, NIO was forced to rein in its spending. It sold its Formula E racing team, and poor performance at the beginning of 2019 forced the company to delay its ET7 sedan.
They did have to halt a lot of operations. Things were touch and go earlier this year, but you can bet that they're restarting those efforts to develop that sedan.
It was also dealing with a battery recall.
Through the end of 2019, NIO was struggling, and in the first quarter of 2020, NIO got to a point where they said, in order for us to survive, we require a bailout.
NIO received a $1.4 billion investment from the Chinese government for a 24.1% stake, as well as establishing a Hefei headquarters to support the region's EV development.
They sold the stake to the government in exchange for the cash. For the most part, they were very favorable terms. And the reason why that is because the government is not really there to make money.
When the stock price came up again, they were able to secure some new funding and more or less pay off that loan. So they're not beholden to the government as they were.
The company was working on a Shanghai factory, but was forced to scrap it. Instead, it turned to JAC Motors to build the ES8 and the ES6.
They struck a deal with NIO, bring your products and your supplies here, we'll do final assembly, and then you take it from there. The beauty in that is NIO then says, oh, that $2 billion we needed for a factory, we keep that in our pockets for marketing or retail or service. That was a big risk, but it's worked out, so at least so far.
NIO, they are responsible for some of the capital expenditures. They have their own people there. They don't own the plant, but for all practical purposes, that plant is there for them to use.
Through the joint venture with JAC Motors, it recently reached a milestone of 50,000 vehicles produced. But NIO's production output is still small, especially compared to Tesla's Shanghai production.
Tesla, with this Gigafactory 3, so it can make, anywhere between 20,000 units to like 23,000 units a month. By far, the highest capacity BEV OEM in China right now. The gap is pretty wide. It's going to take a while for NIO.
There's room for both Tesla and NIO to succeed. Each one's success is actually fed into the other ones. It's a battle between EV and ICE, internal combustion engine, not really a battle between those two.
China is the world's largest EV market, largely due to generous government subsidies and efforts to promote new energy vehicles.
China was determined to lead the world in electric vehicle technologies, and they put in place subsidies and other regulations to make sure that new startups like NIO would have the street paved with gold.
The government spent lots on subsidies, and there were a lot of companies that abused that policy to make it look like they were innovating and developing electric vehicles, but actually they weren't doing that much. And so when the government started to phase out that program, that affected the ability of a lot of EV companies to survive.
As the economy recovers, consumer interest in electric vehicles is growing.
Ironically, when Tesla started making the Model 3 in China, it was beneficial to all the EVs because it got people interested. It got buzz. It was a sort of halo effect.
As Tesla has grown more and more widely accepted in the United States and in China, consumers are having a rethink and going, oh, electric vehicle, that's a real option. In a recent survey of Chinese consumers, half of them said that they'd be open to buying an electric car. That's way up from a few years ago.
But Chinese customers are still price sensitive.
We are still a developing country, so majority of the consumers are still extremely price sensitive. One of the reasons Tesla did extremely well in China this year is because it had price cuts a couple of times. Tesla, where it is now, is 18% less compared to at the beginning of the year when Made in China Model 3 was just launched.
As China's EV companies look to grow, they may enter international markets.
Going forward, NIO would look to expand globally, no question about it. They have their sights set on Europe and the United States.
NIO said it plans to enter the global markets by 2023 and 2024, and would likely begin with Europe first.
I think they'll go to Denmark, Norway, maybe Netherlands first, given the consumer acceptance of EVs there, the subsidies, the government incentives.
But it may be a while before we see NIO in the US.
The Chinese would love to step inside the US market, but the reality is that in Washington, D.C., tensions between the US and China are at their worst in 50 years.
If the geopolitics were to change, maybe they would. But there's Chinese automakers that wanted to enter the US for a while, and they've never really found a viable path.
Tariffs on Chinese cars currently at 27.5%, which would take their $60,000 car up to prices that no American would be willing to pay.
NIO is likely to benefit the most from domestic growth in the near term.
The monthly figures are showing more people are buying their cars. And if you're thinking about a future in which China is mandating, let's say a quarter of vehicles sold in the future must be electric, Chinese consumers are also getting more used to the idea of electric.
Once I think an aspirational brand takes off, it's very difficult to stop. I've talked to several people who never bought a combustion engine vehicle. They bought a NIO, and people think they're cool for buying it. And I can't remember a single time where someone told me it was cool to be driving a Chinese locally made car.
In recent months, NIO has seen impressive investor interest. Whether it can keep up this momentum is yet to be seen.
Increasingly, more and more people believe that this is a winner in an EV world. The $60 billion, $70 billion market cap, it's I think some people have a little bit of difficulty kind of comprehending that, like, how does that make sense? It makes sense if you believe in the future that these guys will be a winner and they'll have an iconic and aspirational brand.
The extent to which the market is valuing these companies with pretty small volumes. We said 50,000 for NIO in an annual global market of 90 million, and yet to be valued on a par with Daimler, well above Ford or Nissan, the market sees something. Now, the market isn't infallible. Maybe investors have it wrong, but boy, it's worth taking a look at.
All right. Now that was something different. A lot. And again, the company is NIO. Look out for them on the market right now. The market is bloody right now. Hopefully at 9 o'clock once Eastern Standard Time, once everything once the market's open, maybe we'll have a nice recovery day, but we'll see. Yeah, that was amazing. So what else we got going on? NASDAQ. Let's see, people are paying millions for clips that can be viewed for free. Welcome to the world of NFTs. Yeah, I've been talking about this for a while. For all you creatives out there, this is the best time to look into NFTs. NFTs are digital art, I would say. So if you have music, if you have artwork, if you have intellectual property, here's the time that you can really get paid for your art. So it's not like a one-time deal. You can sell the art, and if somebody else want to sell it, you still get royalties off of it. It all goes back to you. So look into NFTs. I'm working on a couple of collections. Yeah, I have in mind that I'll be working on, that I'm currently working on. And again, that's NFTs. Look it up. Let's see what else we got going on. Texas, Mississippi lift COVID restriction and mask mandates despite CDC warnings. Yeah, I guess Texas is going for broke, but the COVID restriction and mask mandate, so they pretty much said fuck that. So many words. All right, we got Jeff Bezos would pay over $5 billion a year under Warren's wealth tax. Let's see what that is about. All right, it said Jeff Bezos will owe $5.7 billion in taxes for 2020 under the ultra-millionaire tax act proposed by a group of Senate and House Democrats and independent Senator Bernie Sanders on Monday. The tax would be a 2% annual levy on wealth over $50 million and 3% on wealth over $1 billion. Elon Musk will owe $4.6 billion in 2020 and would still have a fortune of over $148 billion at the end of the year. Bill Gates will have to pay $3.6 billion for 2020, and Mark Zuckerberg will have to pay $3 billion. And again, how Dr. Clyde Anderson say, when America catch a cold, we catch pneumonia. So if you ain't up on game, if your game goofy, now's the time to be focusing on your digital real estate. Whether it's your website, intellectual property. Of course, you need a website to sell your intellectual property, such as a book or music or designs. One of the best ways I always tell people, you can go to grindaholic.com, buy your domain and web hosting service, and begin your journey. And then you can back it up, put a WordPress, or if you are knowledgeable with CSS or Dreamweaver, you can host that on web hosting. So instead of going to pay $30, $40, $50, $100, you can come to my website, purchase your domain, and purchase the web hosting. It probably won't cost you no more than $17, and then $6.95 each month after that. Your domain will cost, let me see it, no more than $12, $13, and then your web hosting is $6.95 a month. Less than $7. And you can do all the fancy things, even more with the WordPress website, if y'all familiar with that. If not, I try to teach a class on a Saturday at 5 o'clock. And you can see some of the websites I have created, helping people I know through Derek Grace the second, his secret society group, post-Trump group. So I helped out a lot of members of that group. Hopefully I should be coming out with a book probably a couple of months from now, just detailing some of my journey But again, I want to help people much as possible. More people I help, more people I help, the more I feel I'll be able to, begin the legend for Ollien. But if you know me, you know what it is. You can always hit me up at I am a grindaholic on Instagram. This is the Grindaholic Network. Right now we're just in a beginning stage, and as we build this out, donations is cool. I'm not begging, but it grows the channel a lot faster. I have my little man, he just woke up, about to get ready for Waffle Wednesday. Say hello, buddy. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Not wave. Say hello. All right. All right. And again, if y'all have any questions, comments, y'all can hit me up. Thank you for joining me. Give out notifications. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. Also, that grows the channel as well. It costs you nothing. But thank you for joining me for today, and we'll meet again, maybe